Hello, we are Group 4 with Jordan, Kelsey, and Braden. Our topic is against kill shelters, and we are in Animals in Society. Here's some history and background about kill shelters. You may be wondering, what is a kill shelter? Well, a kill shelter is an animal shelter that has no restrictions with things such as health, age, and behavior. All dogs and cats are accepted without an appointment, so you're able to take any dog or cat to an animal shelter with no appointment at all. This may sound great, but the truth is, these shelters don't have the capacity for many animals and are forced to euthanize other animals in order to keep accepting all pets. Animal shelters opened in the late 1800s. Which was a very long time ago, so you could see that dogs and cats have been very overpopulated for a very long time. Here are some ethical aspects. Kill shelters accept all cats and dogs, no matter their condition. Since they do this, they are left with limited space. So even if an animal is in healthy condition or has good behavior, they will euthanize them to open up more space for newer animals. There are no health standards in kill shelters, so diseases that would be easily curable for a pet at home could easily spread throughout the shelter and sometimes even to the volunteers and workers, forcing the shelter to euthanize animals due to the illness. Cultural importance. Kill shelters are accepting every sick, injured, and aggressive animal, and while not having enough space for them, they are being forced to euthanize animals based on how long they have been in the shelter, even if they are in good health. So even if sick animals have been there just for less time, the ones that are healthy and have been there for a long time, they get euthanized first. Animals begin to deteriorate and become depressed, anxious, and aggressive after being in a cage as short as 2 weeks. Shelters don't have a lot of space for the animals to run around and go on walks. Dogs especially need a lot of areas to play with toys, and they need a space to run and be able to have a large area to play. Animals need human affection and companionship. Without it, they will start to become depressed and aggressive. This is for all animals, not just dogs and cats. All animals need affection and companionship or they will become depressed. Here are some current events. 71% of cats and 56% of dogs that go into an animal shelter end up euthanized because of overpopulation and a lack of resources. Every single year, over 900,000 animals from shelters get euthanized due to not being able to find a home. Of the 900,000, around 750,000 have the potential of being saved by being adopted since they are in good condition, but unfortunately, they don't get a home due to a lack of space of all animals being accepted no matter the conditions. We are against kill shelters because they accept all animals, including dogs and cats, no matter what condition they are in, because they will most likely end up euthanized due to a lack of space at the shelter. As said before, kill shelters go off the time an animal has been killed in the shelter to euthanize, so even if the animal is perfectly healthy, they may be euthanized if they haven't been adopted. Animals also can't be locked in a cage for a very long time. They need room to play and run around. They need human companionship or else they can become very depressed and aggressive.
Okay, hi, my name is Jordan Carpenter, and I'm starting off with societal importance, and I split this one into 2 slides again, like as I did on the last presentation. But my first note that I have is ethical responsibility. Sociologically, how we treat animals reflects the moral and ethical standards of a society. A society that condones or turns a blind eye to the mass euthanasia of animals may be seen as desensitized to the suffering of the living beings, suggesting a lack of empathy and responsibility towards those who are vulnerable. Opposing kill shelters can, therefore, be viewed as a push to encourage ethical treatment of all living beings, reinforcing societal values of compassion and responsibility. The last note I have on this slide is human-animal bond. Humans have had a long history of domestication and companionship with animals in many cultures. Place significant value on the relationship between humans and their pets. The widespread use of kill shelters challenges the fundamental human-animal bond by reducing animals to disposable commodities. From a societal perspective, undermining this bond can have a broader implications for the social fabric, diminishing empathy and concern for other beings in the community. And on this slide, I have inequality in animal welfare. Kill shelters disproportionately impact certain communities, particularly those in social-economically disadvantaged areas, where overpopulation of animals is more prevalent. Pet owners in these areas often lack access to affordable veterinarian care, spaying and neutering services, or education of responsible pet ownership. This creates a cycle where animals are abandoned, neglected, or surrendered to shelters, where their lives may end predominantly. By opposing kill shelters, advocates argue for social justice that seeks to address these systematic inequalities by promoting education, affordable care, and more humane alternatives. The last note that I have written down states discrimination and marginalized groups. Studies have shown that the demographics of animal shelter visitors are often from those of the general public. This can include race, socioeconomic status, and cultural differences. Marginalized groups might not have the resources, opportunities to adapt or care for pets, leading to higher surrender rates. Kill shelters perpetrate these inequalities by disproportionalizing euthanizing animals from low-income or minority communities, making this social justice issues that highlight systematic disparities.
Hello, my name is Brandon Alvarado, and to begin my slides, we'll start off with the heartbreaking truth: cat and dog euthanasia at a glance. So just here in the United States, we only have a 79% save rate, 5,800 no-kill communities out of 16,000 across the entire country, which is pretty low and surprising amount just to me. 5.4 million entered shelters and only 4.2 saved. That means that 625,000 of them were killed, and that number is just pretty crazy to me. Credits for this statistics to bestfriends.org. Informed opinion. Euthanasia is not needed to solve overpopulation. In the short term, it may allow for us to minimize overcrowding in the moment, sure, but what after that? People will still breed animals, let loose uncastrated and unspayed pets onto the street. We need a real solution. Not just euthanize an animal when the situation is dire. We need to implement a long-term solution, such as spay and neuter programs being pushed out more than ever, as well as pushing adoption rather than buying from breeders. Take, for example, San Francisco, who has a 90% success rate of rehabilitating animals and finding them new homes. This was after implementing a no-kill, no-euthanasia policy citywide, and in turn made the city all look to adopt rather than buy from breeders. In the picture to the right you see Justin Sullivan, who depicts a man playing with dogs after San Francisco was ranked top 10 in the most dog-friendly cities. How can you advocate for the cause? Presenting the model San Francisco presents to everyone is one thing. Seeking legislative support is the best plan of action to help decrease the amount of nationwide kill shelters. We can contact governors at both the national and state level to help decrease and incentivize shelters to turn to a no-kill plan. And then to the right again, we have just a picture of one of the governor's dogs, and it's probably easier to reach out to people that you know that are more pet friendly. So this kind of just like gives you an idea to see who you could reach out to. Next, we have our summary. In conclusion, while yes, kill shelters respond to the short-term answer of what to do with overpopulation, it is not a good ethical or sustainable long-term solution. Long-term reforms, including better education, affordable veterinary care, and better adoption policies, are much more essential to helping the cause or reducing overpopulation and improving the overall welfare of these animals. Works cited. These are just some of the sources that we use throughout the slideshow. They go more in depth into what we talked about throughout it. Like I said earlier when I quoted those statistics, there's more stats like that across all these slides, across all these sources, and they just go more in depth into what we say. Thank you for watching our slideshow presentation.